from the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. Hoping you're having a good first half of your day so far. You know, we're entering into a stagnant weather pattern. What does that mean? Well, highs will be near normal, which is still pretty hot. So we're still going to be looking at typical summer heat, but really no rain, no major rain that is, or any big heat waves heading our way anytime soon. So here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance for today. Hazy, a little smoky. I think even a little hazy out towards the valley as well. But overall, plenty of sunshine there and some smoke for some of the higher elevations, especially north of the Green Fire and southeast of the Butler fires. And, you know, that fog having a hard time burning off for many of you along the coast here this afternoon. Let's take a look at our forecast, our fire forecast, starting off with the winds. And once again, we start this off with no major wind events in the forecast. This is something I mentioned this morning. It's kind of that rinse and repeat type of forecast where you just go ahead and go through the day and then you go to the next day and you pretty much experience the same thing. Morning winds die down, afternoon winds begin to pick up, but nothing really much over 20 or 25 mile an hour gusts. And the fire weather risk is within that moderate range for the most part. So we are seeing, as those temperatures do start to drop, we are beginning to see our fire weather risk begin to drop as well. So that's always a good sign. But that all being said, we can never let our guard down this time of the year. Now the smoke, same situation, rinse and repeat. If you see smoke today, you're probably going to see smoke again here for tomorrow. And I think that the smoke forecast in this model is pushing that smoke a little bit too far to the north of Bernie. I do think Bernie, you will see some of that smoke not only today, but most likely even into your Thursday as well. And of course, we can't forget about Modoc County. You're really getting inundated with a lot of that smoke, especially in the evening and overnight hours. Now, as you know, the conditions with this smoke and the fires can change rapidly. So for those of you that want to know what's going on with the fires, it's very easy. Bookmark it, weathernorcal.com, click on the fire danger section, and you got your one-stop shop for all the latest on the fires. By the way, we do have a ridge of high pressure in place. That's the reason why it's been so warm and will continue to stay on the warm, hot side. But again, it's that rinse and repeat. We have a big ridge of high pressure over the Gulf of Alaska and another one over the desert Southwest. Those two have been really working together to give us the big heat we saw over this past weekend. What we have, though, is these storm systems riding over that ridge and kind of pushing down into the Pacific Northwest. So in a sense, we're sandwiched between two big domes of heat. But for us, we've got more mild air moving in, and that's keeping our temperatures at bay. It's still going to be hot, but temperatures will be right around or even just below normal for this time of the year. See that blue line there on the screen for Reading? That's the normal high, which is about 100 degrees. And for the most part, we'll be below that over the next 10 days, and especially, looks like now, as we go into early next week, temperatures in the low 90s. Now, the water vapor imagery shows us where we have most of the moisture, or just shows you where the moisture is or lack thereof. The rust colors over us is just that dry air that's really moving in. So we really don't have a lot in the way of thunderstorms in the forecast, but there could be. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast. You can still see that fog along the coast, by the way, but look at tomorrow afternoon. So here's tomorrow morning, fog along the coast. That's going to back off a little bit here, but still most likely stick around through Thursday afternoon. But look at Thursday afternoon for Siskiyou County. Could you see a stray shower or thunderstorm? It's not out of the question. And we could even see some of that in maybe western Modoc County as well. Then we go into your Friday morning, fog still along the coast. Friday afternoon, fog along the coast. And it's not showing any thunderstorms for the mountains. But we still can't rule that out. This has been kind of the trend here up to the north. We did see a few lightning strikes yesterday afternoon, evening, as a matter of fact, in Siskiyou County. So we can't rule that out over the next few days. So hazy, smoky here for the rest of the afternoon today. Still hot, especially in western Siskiyou County. In fact, western Siskiyou County, there still is a heat advisory through this evening. So just kind of bear that in mind. It will be hot there, but should stay below 100 degrees today in the valley. For tonight, looks like we're seeing some slightly cooler air move in, so temperatures in the low 60s. Also think about what we saw over the weekend. Overnight lows were down into the mid 70s on average for the valley. So this is kind of a nice break too. Temperatures in the 50s and some smoke for some of those higher elevations, especially to the north into Siskiyou and Modoc counties. So looking at your 7-day forecast for the valley, for Redding, mid to upper 90s for the next 7 days. For Red Bluff, mid 90s for the next 7 days. For Chico, low to mid 90s for the next 7 days. On average, you can see as we go into early next week, especially Tuesday, we're going to see a nice dip in our temperatures. Let's take you out to the coast, upper 50s, low 60s. Inland temperatures, mid 90s at least through Saturday, dropping to the low 90s by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. For Trinity County, looks like in the mid 90s through the weekend, upper 80s, low 90s by Monday, Tuesday of next week. Now for Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains, you're also seeing those temperatures drop, especially by next week with temperatures back down into the 80s. Hazy and smoky at times for today and tomorrow, especially for Siskiyou and Modoc counties, but even parts of the Eastern Mountains could see some of that as well. That is a look at your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Until then, have a great rest of your afternoon.